Hello and welcome. We're getting to another video. Today's video, we'll talk about the best teams, the top teams in the Great League Remix Cup. This is supposed to be one of the fun cups to play. That's because usually they ban the top 20 meta Pokemon, so you will have a chance using something that's not top 20. And those, as I always say, whenever they ban something broken, something new broken will pop up. So let's just take a look about the cup. Pokemons must be 1500 because this is a Great League format. Top 20 Pokemon that are most used in the trainer rank Ace and above in the Great League are not eligible. And if you take a look, like A-Slash, Dugong, Marowak, Feraligatr, Wiggly, Azu, Jumpluff, Quag, Dunsparce, Gastro, Mandy, Ferraton. Who used Ferraton? I actually want to know, like, do people actually use this Pokemon? Drapion, Gastro, Greninja, Diggersby, Talon, Malamar, Toxapex, and Clotsar. These Pokemons are banned, so you cannot use them. And if we take a look at the top at PvP ranking, as I said, whenever you ban the most common stuff, something broken will pop up. We have like Pangoro sitting at number 1, followed by Galarian, Weezing, the Shadow one. Carbink, as always, the Pokemon that will just ruin every themed cup. Clefable, Machamp, Steelix, Basti. Basti is a spice, is banned. That's because of the nerf to SmackDown. Steelix, Basti, Galade, Shadow. Okay, every time I see Galade Shadow in the top, I'm like, okay, that's a fun cup to play. Guzzlord, Shadow Marowak, Golurk, and Quillfish, and Registeel. These Pokemons are supposed to be the new meta. So as always, I divide them into 3 different categories: lead, safe, swap. Generalist. Leads are Pokemon that do have fast move pressure, or they are alignment dependent Pokemons. And these Pokemons, as always, you can see that the fighters are always good in the lead because of the 2 reasons that I just mentioned, which is they have good fast move pressure and they are alignment dependent. And we have Pangoro and Machamp here sitting as like the best lead, followed by Galarian. 3 fighters in the top 5. That's kind of weird because in the Great League meta we were complaining that there is no fighters because they nerfed counter, and like Karate Chop is just not doing any damage. It's not a damage move because most of the fighters are frail, so they would like they prefer having counter, but before the nerf, because counter was just such an OP move that made fighters as good to compete in the game. But now it's kind of lacking. Bastiodon and Pidgeot are also alignment dependent Pokemons. In the safe swap, safe swaps are generally like Pokemons that are always very spammy, and they all like safe swap. It's not as always like in the previous seasons we used to say safe swap. I don't think the word safe swap is accurate anymore. I think like if you watch the Pokemon Go channel, the cassettes, they say pivot because there is no safe swap pretty much. It's not like if you safe swap Frostlass, I mean, you're gonna get destroyed by Pangoro if they have Pangoro in the lead, right? While in the past we used to have such a great Pokemons like Galarian, Stunfisk, Registeel, and Azu. Those Pokemons were always good safe swaps because it doesn't matter what they have in the lead, you can always throw a super effective move. Obama Snow is not in the top 20 or top 30, but I always regret not mentioning Obama Snow because it's such a great Pokemon, to be honest, because most of the stuff are either weak to ice or grass, and it's such a good combination type. The generalists are like good everywhere. I have Weezing here as in between safe swap and good generalist because it's not a good generalist. It's not the great safe swap, but it's kind of in between. With energy lead, it can be both. Golurk is actually a decent core breaker to most of the Pokemons. Like how can you beat Golurk? You need a dark Pokemon, right? But guess what? The dark Pokemons like this guy, Guzzlord and Pangoro, they both run non-dark fast move, which will make which will give Golurk like a huge play because you will be dishing out a neutral Mud Slap damage. Mud Slap is currently the best fast move in the game, so it's like kind of like ideal average fast move against the best fast move. So that's like where the fight becomes. Something like Shadow Dragonair is always good in the neutral matchups because you can dish out so much to Dragon Breath. The problem with Dragons, like after the nerf to Body Slam, it's no longer as good. Frostlass, we talked about it. Steelix and Carbink are always like 2 Pokemons that just ruin the fun for me, to be honest. Poliwrath is not as ideal, but if you look at this list, to be honest, it's not a bad Pokemon. To be honest, you could also get away with Bubble Poliwrath as well. It's not as bad. I myself don't have a Bubble Poliwrath, but I might just build a third one, just for fun. The thing about Shadow and Polion is that they nerfed to Steel Wing and then they buffed Metal Claw, but the buff to Metal Claw wasn't good enough, so it's like it needs another buff. Hopefully next season they do buff Metal Claw. Some anti-peta Pokemons that worth mentioning. Lapras, it's just a tanky Pokemon. I think we talked about Shadow Machamp. Shadow Drapion is banned, I can guarantee you that. Ariados is a Pokemon that deserves some respect. Regice isn't bad. The Gliscor is bad. Shadow. Victory Bell is always a Pokemon that can break so many teams in the Remix Cup. Munchlax isn't bad. Dragalge is fine. Hakmo is good. Liavani is... it's not bad. It's also not the greatest. Now let's talk about the top teams. And the best team, if you go to PvPoke, you choose Pangoro and you try to build a team around Pangoro, it will recommend using Nidoqueen with Pangoro because Pangoro is just extremely weak to fairies. And there is no better counter to fairies than the Nidoqueen. You resist the charm and then you do super effective damage back. But the surprising third, which is a good one, is actually Dusknoir. What's good about Dusknoir? It's a Pokemon that has the best fast move. Yes, you just said that about Mudslap. Well, Astonish is extremely good too. It has Astonish, Shadow Ball, which is a legacy charge move with Shadow Punch. But if you have a purified one, it's actually better if you have a purified Dusknoir, because you will have Astonish, Shadow Punch, and Return. You technically don't need Shadow Ball if you have Shadow Punch, because Shadow Punch used to be bad, so Shadow Ball was a must, but now Shadow Punch is Aqua Tail clone, and it's technically the best 35 energy fast charge move, so that will make it, you know, like the difference between Sableye and Shadow Sableye, sorry, purified and non-purified, it's going to be the same hit. Like, having Return is actually good with, like, you can hit something like Pangoro with a nuke neutral damage. A Code Breaker to this team, as I told you, this thing will pop up in most of the teams, as most of the teams will be ABA weak to it. I mean, this is not weak to it, this is neutral to it. But the thing is, with the new fast move, they gave it, not Magical Leaf, the other one. Leafage, I think. I think they gave it Leafage. It's just so spammy of a Pokemon right now. Moving into the top 3 PvPoke. Top 3 PvPoke teams are always teams I prefer to use. I always try to use 2 of the top 4 Pokemon. So if you look at the top 4, Pangoro, Weezing, Carbink, and Clefable. Those are the top 4. I always try to choose 2 of these 4 because those are top 4 for a reason. So as an example in this, I would rather choose Pangoro and Carbink. So those will be like my ideal core. But I don't have a Carbink and I'm not planning to build one either. And they make a good core with Weezing. But the problem with this team is that this team is just extremely weak to Golurk. You might be saying that this thing is dark, but this thing does not get the 3 charge moves against Golurk. Golurk just dish so much damage. And if you're a Golurk fan and you're looking for a team, I recommend using this team, Steelix with Golurk and Pangoro. The team is low-key weak to Pangoro in the lead, because you have Dragon Tail, Psychic Fang, and they won't be shielding Psychic Fangs, and they do get to 2 Night Slashes, they do get to 1 Night Slash and 1 Close Combat as well, so it will be like a bit annoying. If you see Pangoro leads, just to switch this to something like Clefable, to be honest, and you should be fine. The team is core broken by Clefable because Clefable is a spammy Pokemon and can tank charge moves here, and it beats Steelix and Pangoro as well. If you are a Jellicent fan, yes, Jellicent got a nerf because it has Surf, and Surf is the move that they had to nerf because of Lantern. But I think Jellicent isn't a bad Pokemon. You can run Bubble, Surf, Shadow Ball. You could also do Bubble Beam if you want. And you can pair it with Pangoro and you will have yourself a good core. But something I found out interesting to use in this cup is Stogitic with Fairy Wind, Dazzling Gleam, and Aerial Ace. Why Aerial Ace? Because it's super effective against Pangoro, the best Pokemon in this cup. Why Dazzling Gleam? Because you need to nuke at one point, right? So this team is not the greatest, but it actually deserves some respect. Jellicent is a tanky Pokemon, and it always make a comeback to Great League Remix. Like, people just don't use it first 2 days, and then after that people will start using Jellicent more because it's just such a great Pokemon with a great typing. This team, I call it annoying team because if you win the lead, you're just going to RPS. Like, it doesn't matter what they do. Like let's say they led Pangoro, swap in Steelix, you go Golurk. They led Pangoro, they swap in Carbink, you go this thing. You pretty much, if you win the lead, you're just going to RPS in the back. Something to mention here, if you want to run Shadow Pidgeot, do not run Feather Dance, you need Aerial Ace. And I pretty much always say, if you run Pidgeot, you could do Gust, Aerial Ace, Brave Bird. You could do Gust, Feather Dance, and Aerial Ace. I don't think there is a reason to have Brave Bird other than Steelix, because Brave Bird does hit hard, even when it's resisted. Now, the most toxic team in this cup will be Poliwrath, Bastiodon, Clefable. We used to see this team in the Great League, but now those Pokemons, like those two, are nerfed and they aren't meta. But if you want to run something toxic in this cup, you could even do Shadow Victory Bell here, and you will have yourself the most toxic team 2.0, Great League, poor man's team or something. Goodra Gaming. If you are a Goodra fan like myself, I will be running a Goodra team 100%. And if you want to run Goodra, you need an anti-fairy. So no one does it better than Empoleon. And if you are running those two, I recommend having Pangoro as a third. And then you can use Goodra to bait out the fairy, bait out, or like a pivot, and if they are leading Pangoro themselves. Because Goodra is good at stalling the switch clock. It's one of the best Pokemons at doing that in the current meta. Moveset wise, I think you run Metal Claw on Empoleon just because it's a spammier than Steel Wing. Steel Wing is more like a fast move, a pressure fast move. It's not like the fast move that generate that much amount of energy. A Glass Cannon team, a team that does hit extremely hard, okay? But it dies pretty fast. Gallade, Quillfish, Pangoro. Each one of those Pokemons is a hard-hitting Pokemon. Each one of those Pokemons can massively snowball the entire game. The team a bit struggle into Cresselia, but people won't be running Cresselia the first 2 days. Trust me, people don't run Cress the first 2 days. So you can benefit from that. I don't recommend running those 3, but you can choose 2 of those 3 and put Cresselia maybe as a third, just to have like more bulk into the team. Quillfish, Double Dragon. I think if you want to run Double Dragon, you have to run Steelix, as this is the Pokemon you will be using to bait out the anti-dragon Pokemon, like the fairies, like whatever, right? Because the Steelix function as a dragon that does not lose hard to fairies. It's a dragon that will take the fairies 60 seconds to beat, right? That's because it's just a spammy Pokemon. Quillfish functioning as the anti-charmer. It's not like bulkiest Pokemon, but it just hit extremely hard. It like, think of Quillfish as a shadow Pokemon. Just think of it that way, because it has insane amount of attack and it's just so frail. There was a team I featured last time. We had Great League REMIX and by Twisted 96, and they were running Salazzle Double Dragon. The problem with this team is that now it's weak to Carbink, so you have to have a Carbink answer. I think if you fix that problem, you will have yourself probably the harder hitting version of this team. But if you are a Guzzlord fan and you would like to run a Guzzlord team, I recommend pairing it with Quillfish and Pangoro as a third. To be honest, you can use Pangoro to bait out the fairies. You could also the fairies in the back are like a bit tough for this team. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If you like this content, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, if you would like to follow my make sure to follow my stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/srelite. I will be going live during the leagues, when the leagues rotate, and I will be doing 5 unique teams. I will be doing 3 Halloween, 2 Great League REMIX. So if you're looking for a team, make sure you stop by the stream, and then hopefully you will get yourself a team that you will enjoy and learn how to use probably. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.